For the second consecutive home game at Michigan Stadium, there is a serious incident in the tunnel between the two teams. Welcome to the Voice of College Football. Please support what we do here, which is discuss college football with you each and every day. Please hit the like button and subscribe right here. Give me a call. We'll talk college football. I'm typically live Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday during football season. Let's get to the incident and the evidence and what should be done about this. Michigan State following the game. We've seen the video. I have looked for alternate versions from maybe other angles. I've only seen one particular video. I've seen it posted several places, but in my search for additional videos, I keep running into the same video. So if you know of other angles or maybe someone who started to record prior to the incident or after the incident that we are seeing, please let me know. So a Michigan player, Jim Harbaugh said 2 Michigan players, one is caught on video based on my knowledge, one of the 2 is caught on video, were assaulted after the game by Michigan State players. And again, this was in the tunnel after the game of Michigan's win over Michigan State. So this is completely inexcusable, can't be tolerated in any such way. You have one player being picked on, bullied, beaten to some degree. It's difficult from the video that I saw to see exactly what is being done to him, but it's obvious that he's on the ground, he's on the floor of the tunnel, and multiple Michigan State players are beating him in some way. I don't know if they're just pushing at him, who knows what they're doing, stomping on him. I can't tell from the video exactly what's going on in regards to how vicious it is, how harmful it is. Okay, we know that the Michigan player got up and moved on. That doesn't excuse it in any such way. We're wrapped up in the college football. We're wrapped up in these individuals as players, but let's not lose sight of why these young men are on campus. They may be on campus to eventually make money or make money through NIL, become NFL players, and all of that, sure. But the focus and the intent and purpose of college, the mission of college, is to develop people into mature human beings to prepare them for a career, both professionally from a standpoint of a skill set, but also from a behavioral standpoint, and for males in particular to grow them into young men, professionals to act like men. These are 18 to 22-year-old boys that are growing into be young men to varying degrees. Some of them are successful, some are not. Some are just currently in the process. But this has to be taught to them that it's completely inexcusable. It can't be shrugged off as this is football, this is what you do. No, hit guys on the field between the whistles. Hit them as hard as you want as long as it's a legal hit. And then off the field, act like men, act like professionals, act like adults, be mature. That's what we're expecting of you. And we know that we have to have rules to mandate that type of behavior, because if people are just left to their own vices, we would have an even worse society than we do now, because we can't trust people to act like that, to do the right thing. We all learn that each and every day. All right, so in terms of the follow-up of this, Jim Harbaugh had stated, and it's been stated by Ward Manuel, the athletics director at Michigan, that this is being investigated by the Big Ten. It's also being investigated by the authorities. So at some point in all of this, of course, these games and any team activity, while they're in the hotels, while they're on the buses, while they're on campus at the football facility, they are within the authority of the school, the conference. But at some point, it goes beyond that, steps beyond that, and possibly becomes a legal matter. So this is somewhere in between that, because it was still on campus during an event in which these players were participating within their team. So it's a team activity to be sanctioned, to be policed by the school and the conference. But also, of course, if it oversteps those boundaries, which it may have, and looks like it did, then the authorities take over, and the University of Michigan has handed it over to the authorities in addition to the Big Ten Conference. So therefore, it becomes a legal matter. Michigan State has apologized. I would want that after it's fully known the extent of this investigation, that Michigan State would make more of a personal apology to the player or two players that were involved and victimized by Michigan State players. There should be a personal apology given by head coach Mel Tucker. There should be a personal apology come from the athletics director. There should be a personal apology from the university. Now, what do you do with these players that were involved on the Michigan State side? I would review the tape, and I don't think that there's a perfect answer to discipline. There's not a right or wrong answer to discipline. I believe in forgiveness. I believe in restoration, unless somebody has proven time and time again that they are not capable of listening and correcting their behavior. Then they need to be discarded. So I don't know the track records of these individual players in terms of their behavior and their file there at the Michigan State University. But let's say it's completely clean. I would take all the players that obviously physically abused the Michigan or Michigan players, and I would suspend them for the rest of the season. You're done. We've got 4 games left. You're not kicked off the team unless you've behaved like this otherwise, and this is the next issue. If this is a one-time issue, you are suspended for the rest of the season if you actively took a part in this. I also think it's important to discipline the players that were present and could have stopped their teammates. Again, the mission of college is to teach these young men to be exactly that, to be mature adults, to be professionals, to be accountable, to take action for the purpose of good. So even if a particular player on the Michigan State side was just a bystander, just saw it happening, and didn't do anything, whether that be positively or negatively, didn't take part in the negative action, but did not do anything to stop it, there would be a penalty for them as well. You need to be a person that is going to step in. Let's understand, this is not a street fight. If you're stepping into a street fight, then you are putting yourself at risk and at harm, because there is no authority there. There is no one there to safeguard anybody's actions. Understand that this would have only gone to a certain extent, because obviously we've got players within a team setting, in a team environment, at a stadium with police there. It's only going to go so far. So if you step in and restrain your fellow teammate, he's not going to turn a gun on you. He's not going to stab you. He's not going to beat you up. You're being brave to a certain extent, but not as much as you would need to be out on the street. So I would say we expected you to do what's right and to call out your teammate and stop him. Stop your teammates from doing this despicable thing. So you're going to be suspended for, depending on the participation, depending on the level of involvement or engagement, anywhere from 1 to 3 games. I would allow them to play at least the final game of this football season. And that's the reasonable discipline that I see. Again, discipline is not perfect. Discipline has a perspective based on each one of our views. So there is no perfect discipline whatsoever. This tunnel situation at Michigan Stadium obviously needs to be corrected. There's only one tunnel. It leads to the locker rooms, apparently, And therefore, that one path has to be used. However, after what happened against Penn State, now what has happened 2 consecutive games, yes, we expect the behavior to be better. And I would rather see the behavior corrected than there a situation have to be put in place that would separate the two teams. They should be expected to cooperate, to be able to be civil in walking to the same locker room area in the same tunnel. However, for practical purposes, it is a heated situation. We are taking athletes that are colliding with each other, that are hitting each other for 3 or 3.5 hours, and then we are expecting them, and we have taught them over the course of months and years, and specifically this week, to go out and hit hard, and then to walk in a tunnel with those opposing players on the other side. So that isn't necessarily the best situation, and they are just boys becoming men. So let's separate them. Let's let one team, the visitors, walk through, make sure that they're fully separated, and let the other team, the Michigan team, go through after that. Just my thoughts here at the Voice of College Football. Leave your comments down below. We are going to talk college football all week. Please join us on Monday night for our Top 25 That Actually Makes Sense reaction call-in show, and also Tuesday night watch party. Tuesday night watch party, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. What are we watching? Or we're going to watch the College Football Playoff Selection Committee make its unveiling on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, right here at the Voice of College Football.